This is the Far Out Podcast. Episode 14. Brought to you by the Dallas International Guitar Festival. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Dallas, Texas. Also sponsored by Out of Bounds Brewing Company in Folsom, California. And the one and only Gibson Guitars.
Here's my sticky situation, and I swear I'm telling the truth. I'm still alive by definition.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Fray, and you're listening to the Far Out Podcast. That song right there is a song called I'm Alive from my Six String Soldiers album that I recorded with my good friends Mike Araiza and Jeff Sandoval. It's hard to believe that that album was recorded in 2012, which is 8 years ago already. So much time has gone by. A lot of things have happened. The Six String Soldiers album was a very special album to me because it includes some legendary guitarists as special guests. Rick Derringer, Dave Menichetti, Dickie Betts, and on that song, I'm Alive, Pat Travers is playing the guitar solos, and Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza helped me co-write the album, and they've got a new album called Healing the Fray. It's just freaking awesome, so you got to check that out. Look them up on Spotify, go to their Healing the Fray Facebook page, and check out Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza. Also on this podcast, I'm going to be talking with my good friend JT Loux about new music and what he's doing and some new bands. And we're also going to talk about some new developments in the music industry that are happening with the coronavirus, some cancellations of shows, and some craziness that's going on in today's world. So stay tuned to this episode here of the Far Out Podcast, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, this is Eddie Trunk, and you are listening to my brother from another mother, the heavy metal hippie, Frank HANNON, and the Far Out Podcast. He learned it all from me.
Yeah. Lay down your tired complications. Put down those superficial needs. I'm not the one that will implore you. Be at the mercy of reprieve. 'Cause I ain't not giving back, not giving in. No, I won't be giving back, not giving in. Was I wasting your time? Oh, did I just for you? If you want me in your life, then put me there. Don't tell me I changed.
That is brand new music from Healing the Fray, my good friends Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Far Out Podcast. I'm Frank HANNON, your host, and I've been home from the Tesla tour since the end of February. I've been taking a break. Our last show was in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Route 66 Casino, and that's where I ran into my good friends Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza. They have a new band called Healing the Fray, and on this episode, I will be playing you an interview that I recorded with Jeff and Mike in the dressing room right after the Tesla show in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Their new album and their new band is called Healing the Fray, and it's a great album. It's got some great songs. I mean, those guys are super talented, some of the best musicians I know. And the title, Healing the Fray, is appropriate today. The stuff that's going on is crazy with this coronavirus. Today, I just got a phone call that my 98 Rock show, March 28th, has been postponed. We're working on a new date in May to reschedule that date. There's a lot of fear going on about the coronavirus. I don't know how real it is, how real the dangers are, but the media and the world is definitely upset about the coronavirus. So we'll talk a little bit further about that. I do want to keep it positive, though. The shows are being rescheduled. My good friends in Y&T have to cancel their shows in the Washington area. The Almond Betts band canceled their show in the Bay Area. I was going to go down and see my brother-in-law Dwayne and Devin and my bros and their band, but their tour has been canceled. I got a message from Jared James Nichols that his European shows are canceled. So it's a crazy time right now with this coronavirus and everything that's going on. So I do want to encourage everyone to be safe. I'm going to personally take some time off for real. The one thing about this coronavirus is that it's forcing me to take some time off and relax. Since I've been home last Sunday from the Tesla tour, all I've been doing is resting, and it's kind of a foreign thing for me to actually take time off. I got sucked into a vortex, man, of watching TV. That's something I don't do very much, but Netflix has kind of been occupying my time. I've watched 2 full seasons of these crazy-ass shows. One of them in particular that really affected me in a weird way is this show called Making a Murderer. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but I recommend you watch it. It really demonstrates the corruption in the judicial system, and it's really sad how this family had to endure their son being wrongfully committed into prison, and it's really heavy. If you get a chance, check it out. Post some comments on my Facebook page and let me know what you think. Hey, joining me right now is my good friend JT Loux. What's happening, bro?
Hey, man, how's it going? Good to be here, man.
This is your first appearance on the Far Out podcast.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. When this first started back in November, I was helping out with some editing and stuff like that, and it's cool to be behind the mic now.
Everyone, JT is my young friend. He's 20 years old. He's a guitarist and a musician that I've been producing and managing, and we're really excited to announce he's got some new music now.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Been singing a lot and writing new music, and since the departure of my former band, I've been really focusing on the singing aspect, and singing and playing.
And songwriting.
Yeah, and songwriting is a big one, man. I've really learned how to kind of make my guitar playing less busy and making it more around the melody of the vocal,
Yeah, well, that's definitely the most important thing is writing songs. We got a great show coming up in Dallas. Luckily, it's far enough away to not be affected by this coronavirus scare. Tell everyone where we're going to be, bro.
Yeah, man. It's going to be in Dallas at the Dallas International Guitar Fest, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And I got a chance to play Saturday, May 2nd, with a bunch of these young gun guys from the G3 program. I met them back in January at the NAMM show, and it was really cool getting to know those guys, so I'm excited to catch up with them and jam with them on stage on the Saturday, May 2nd. And then I know you're flying in from Baltimore, right? May 3rd, that's right?
Yeah. Tesla's playing at the M3 Festival Saturday night, May 2nd, and then I'll be flying into Dallas to join the Dallas International Guitar Festival on Sunday.
Yeah, man, and my band's going to be playing at 1:15 on the Young Gun stage, and then I'll be joining you, I think around 3:30 on the main stage, you and your Frank Hannon band, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, man, and you played with me at the Whiskey. You've been playing all kinds of shows with me, man.
We've been so busy since November, man. I know we've had the Boardwalk show and some stuff at the Powerhouse and the Whiskey show and the release of your beer. Congratulations on that, man.
It's been crazy, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody work harder than you, man, in ever, and it's good to see that you're taking a break now.
Kind of a forced break with this coronavirus thing. So what do you think of this coronavirus, man? What's your take on it?
I can understand why everyone's scared about it, these people that a lot of people are dying, but, I think as long as everyone keeps their hands washed and, stays away for the most part, stocks up on supplies, I think you should be fine for the most part.
The numbers are pretty low, though, in reality. Like compared to the swine flu, there was 20,000 deaths of that before they even initiated much. That's what I read anyway. I don't know how true that is, but anyway, it's better safe than sorry, I guess, huh?
Yeah, you keep hand sanitizer on you at all times.
Yeah, and if you are feeling sick, get checked out and don't go into public. And I guess that's why they're postponing all these gatherings of people.
Yeah, this and this has forced you to kind of go into hibernation almost.
That's a fact, man. Well, we had some fun downstairs in the studio. You're learning some new songs in the garage there, and I guess you've had to take a crash course in rock and roll boot camp here, huh?
Yeah, it's been fun though. It's been such a cool experience to try and figure out how to front a band and create really full sound of because I'm working with the trio right now, so me, a bass player, and a drummer, and so being able to work out how to get more of a full sound rather than playing with two guitars has been really a fun experience for me.
Well, as things develop for you, we'll start showcasing some of your new music. And today we're going to talk to Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza. I interviewed them in Albuquerque, New Mexico, regarding their new album called Healing the Fray. And it's really killer, which this gives me the idea of, talking about some new music. There's definitely an age difference between you and me, and you're probably more hip on what's current today. You played me a new band that was really rocking. Were they called Dirty Honey?
Yeah, Dirty Honey. I actually ran into those guys at NAMM, and we got to see them at one of these private Gibson shows. They were joined Slash on stage, and Billy Gibbons and Don Felder, and it was a rockin' show. The lead singer, he sounds so rockin', man, and they're a 4-piece, and so they got that trio with the singer. So I've been kind of studying his guitar playing too. Yeah,
so check out Dirty Honey. What's another band? Let's talk about one more band that kicks ass that you like.
Well, man, I've been listening to a lot of Royal Blood. They're a 2-piece bass player and drummer guy, and the bass player's playing all these complex licks while singing over. And his stage presence is amazing. So that's another one.
Royal Blood.
They're from the UK, and I first saw them on YouTube through a bunch of these festival videos. I got sucked into those, YouTube and Netflix can definitely suck you in, and you could be watching stuff for days, man.
So Royal Blood, the main singer guy plays bass, but he also makes his bass sound like a guitar, right?
Yeah, I believe he's running through some guitar amps too. He's got pedal boards as big as a lot of freaking soundboards. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Another band that kind of does that. That's another trio is Muse.
Oh, Muse, yeah, they're more like early 2000s too, and they were kind of the first people to introduce that kind of rock and new age trio.
The power trio with like tons of killer effects and a full sound.
Yeah, they're killer live, man. They've got such a full sound, and he's really good at multitasking when it comes to playing and singing and doing all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, everyone, check out Dirty Honey, check out Royal Blood, and stay tuned for more of JT's progress on the Far Out Podcast.
Where did you go? Did you find the reason you were looking for? Will I overcome, or have I left myself behind, completely numb? Where did you go?
That's the brand new single, Outside Looking In, from Healing the Fray. My good friends Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Right now, I'm going to take you to an interview that I did with them backstage at Route 66 on the last night of the Tesla tour of February. So here it is. All right, you are listening to the Far Out Podcast. I'm Frank Hannon, your host, and I am backstage in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tesla just got done rocking out here in Albuquerque. I've got a lot of history here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've got some great friends here. I would even venture to say they're not just friends, they're family. Yeah. And I am here right now, Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Brother.
Hometown Tesla had a killer show as always, man.
You guys absolutely killed it, man. Didn't we tell you that Albuquerque was going to be the loudest show?
Loudest.
It always is, man.
Yeah, man.
We've got a long history here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It must have been at least 10 years ago when I met you, Mike, huh?
Yep, 10 years ago, it was downtown, but it was formulated by 94 Rock, the guitar contest. Was fortunate enough to win. That began our journey of working together.
So, for those of you listening, Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza are the songwriting team that I wrote and recorded the Six String Soldiers album with. It was a great collaboration. We're great friends, and they have a brand new band and a brand new album called Healing the Fray.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thanks,
guys.
bro. Thank you, man.
It's a great album. I'm blown away.
Well, we took all of the things that we learned working with you and having, being around the industry, being around Tesla, specifically you, and we took that and we wanted to take it to another level. The one thing that you always encouraged us to do was write the great song. It's about the great song. And so this is a focus of that.
Well, you guys definitely did that, and you definitely stepped it up from Six String Soldiers. How long did you guys work on this album, Jeff?
Well, it took a couple years to do. Collectively, we were working with Chris Collier, the producer out of Santa Clarita, and we just built an awesome relationship with Chris and just kind of flying back and forth like we did with Six String Soldiers.
Well, you guys are very dedicated, and you're from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm really hoping you guys are going to break out with this new album, Healing the Fray. You have a brand new single. It just came out yesterday. It's called Outside Looking In, man, and it's a gorgeous song. It's an acoustic-driven song.
Right. Do you remember when we were backstage, when we met, you were telling me that it doesn't matter how great you are as an individual, can you write the song? And you played that first riff from What You Give. And so this song is actually, that crystallization of writing that riff on the acoustic guitar. So
Influenced by What You Give, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Mike, you are a rock and guitar player. So I met everyone that's listening. I met Mike at a guitar contest. We were there for 94 Rock judging a guitar contest. And there was, 20 guitar players that day.
All great, too. Yeah.
Yeah, all great and all different. A lot of metal guys.
Yeah.
And you came up and just blazed out some soulful licks.
Yeah.
And
And it was cool, yeah.
I liked how you turned it up. You turned up the amp, bro.
Yeah.
I thought that was classic Araiza.
Mike Araiza's classic turn up the amp.
Yep. When Jeff's not looking, I always reach back and just turn it up a little
You
bit
just
more.
walked up there and went, I'm turning it to 11.
So the winner of the guitar contest got to jam with Tesla that night.
Right, yeah, and you guys made me feel at home and comfortable. I was really nervous because it's your stage, it's your brand, and I remember asking, where do you want me to stand? I was really uncomfortable about being comfortable, and all of you guys made me feel very comfortable.
Had you played on a stage that big before?
Never, no.
Never,
no.
Wow, and so I'm guessing you hadn't played much acoustic before, so it was that day when I talked to you about writing songs on the acoustic.
Right, and so it was the challenge was you left me with I don't care how you do it. If you put two radios together, whatever it is you do, you write. And that began the journey and the discipline, and I was adamant to prove to you that I could write. And we did Love, Life, and Beauty together.
You wrote a beautiful song called Love, Life, and Beauty, and then you brought this guy, Jeff Sandoval.
Yeah, man.
Great song has to have great vocals.
Hey, it's all about that, right? It doesn't matter about anything else but the voice, right? I'm kidding, right?
Well, when I played the stuff that we recorded for Eddie Trunk, he was flipping out on Jeff's vocals. So, Jeff, I know you've told me, but tell my listeners, why did you start singing?
Well, I wanted to be a drummer, and my dad looked to me and he's like, son, play an instrument you can afford. So I started singing.
Couldn't afford much else.
That's right, man. How much does a drum kit cost now? Goodness, sticks, cymbals, forget it, the hardware.
Plus, you got to carry all that stuff around.
Yeah, who wants to do that?
Yeah. So how long have you known Mike, Jeff?
Well, since 2007.
Ish.
Yeah.
Right after we had our experience and you gave me that vision of the journey, I went out and started playing the clubs, sitting in with bands.
Yeah.
And we started a cover tune band together, and we got to know each other.
Oh, okay. I figured you guys maybe went to school together or something. No? Okay. Well, you found a great singer in Jeff there. And so tell me some of your biggest influences, Jeff.
Dude, let's talk about Paul Rogers. The guy has so much soul, so much feel. Lou Gramm, the king of the middle eights, right? Nobody writes a better middle eight than Lou Gramm. His vocal tone. Jolyn Turner, Jeff Keith, of course, our boy Jeff Keith out there. Freddie Mercury,
Brad Delp.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Your voice does remind me a lot of Brad Delp's voice from Boston.
Thanks, bro. You're going to get me choked up now. That's pretty awesome, man. Brad is just amazing. Bless his heart.
I have to say, you guys are probably some of the most talented, undiscovered musicians. And I want to say undiscovered only just because you're from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And you guys have ventured out of Albuquerque. You used to come and visit me when we were making the record.
Yeah.
And then, so let's get back to Healing the Fray. You worked with a producer named Chris Collier.
Yeah.
And
Chris Collier.
he was in the Southern California area, and you flew out to work with him on a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Well, tell us more about Chris Collier.
Chris Collier is someone, he's a multi-instrumentalist, can play drums just as good as anybody, just as great as anybody, can play bass, can sing. George Lynch was here, and he was playing drums for in place of Brian Tichy, and we were looking for a drummer, and I was like, man, I met up with him. He's like, I'm not into this at all. I produce. And I was like, ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
Yeah, and we established a relationship. And as you know, it's about that team. What's the goal? You know, there's no ego. Are we going to challenge each other? The thing that we're after is making a great song to serve the people with, and that's his attitude and that's his mentality. And he's been blown up.
Yeah, we took that from you. It's all just creating like this seed, not being married to the entire song, writing this intricate song. Just we came up with a bunch of ideas. We gave it to Chris, and he was able to arrange them and create what we have today.
Well, Chris Collier is definitely a great producer, great musician, plays drums, and he's a multi-instrumentalist. And he produced a great album for you guys, Healing the Fray. Everyone that's listening, be sure to check out Healing the Fray. This is Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza, who did the Six String Soldiers album with me a few years ago. You have a song called In God's Time. You have another song called Mercy. I'm hearing a lot of spiritual messages in these songs, Jeff.
Yeah, there is, because one thing that you kind of told us, you said you have to be very careful on what type of message you put out. So I'm always trying to have like a positive spin. Tesla always circles themselves with love, community, so on and so forth. So I'm really passionate about that. So I think it's important to have that type of message.
Yeah, I'm very proud that Tesla always tried to keep it positive and make people feel uplifted.
Yeah, it's definitely uplifting because you want to make sure that people can relate and connect to it. So,
well, there's a responsibility to contribute positive vibes to the world. Yeah. And so speaking of that, one of the things that I know about you, Jeff, is you like to work with kids and families and stuff outside of music. Tell the listeners about your interest in that.
Well, I really like working with my community, where I'm affiliated with the Archdiocese of Santa Fe, and I work closely with, the youth, help them kind of do outreach in their community, feel comfortable reaching out to people and helping those in need. I mean, right now, there's a huge demand. There's a lot of people out there that feel lonely and need just a helping hand. It's important.
Yeah. And Mike, outside of the box, you're into photography, you're into working out. Tell us some of your passions.
My passion is I love to run and I love to work out. Running for me, it teaches me the lesson of like life. You start off with a run and you're going at a pace, and your device, whether it be your wearable, whatever it is, tells you the pace you're going at, and it may not have been what you anticipated. You may not be feeling it. The lesson that I get from either working out or running is at the end of it, it's did you give it your all? And so that's a lesson for whatever it is I'm dealing with at life. If it's, some family issues or anything that's going on in my mind, that's how I get this this parallel thought process to it. In addition to that, while I'm running, I'm listening to the music that Jeff and I are writing, and I get to hear it with 100% clarity outside of a studio, and I get to get in tune with it. In fact, that's how we got the name for one of our tracks, Believe Again. We were tossing around all these titles, and it just felt right. So I called Jeff, says, Believe Again.
So he's like, believe again. What? Just call you later. Click. And I'm like, okay, he must be running and thinking.
Right, so running and thinking. And then the videography and the photography. The videography is a necessity because in this industry, the more you can do for yourself, the more productive you can be because you have a lot more input and control. So our graphics, our videos and stuff like that, I manage that and I do that. Yeah. And
you like to work with film.
Film, yes, I do. Film photography is a thing where we are in a society right now, and it's okay at times, but we're so obsessed with everything being perfect that it's those things that are imperfect that make true art and make things beautiful. If you notice, when you take pictures, everybody wants to see it to make sure that they look okay. Yeah. There was a time where with film photography, it was about capturing the moment and enjoying and encapsulating the people that you're with. So that's why I enjoy film photography.
Well, all right, man. Hey, I want to get back to the running, though. One of the messages that I'm hearing and what you're saying is with running, you have to have the discipline. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you have to put your feelings aside and just do it.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the examples of like going through life. Whatever it is, if you're having a bad day at work or if whatever it is, you got to push through. You got to push through it. Yeah. And the thing that matters is when I get to the end of the run and I look at my time and I look at the workout, it's like, you know what? It may have not been, that 25-minute 5K that it was 3 days ago, but you know what? I gave it my all. Yeah. And you give it your all. And so that's the example and the parable, if you would, of life is go through and give it all. So everybody that's listening, regardless of what it is, whatever your passion it is, give it your all. Being a parent, a son, your job, your career, whatever it is you do to express yourself, give it your all.
That's right. Push through and survive. Well, you guys are survivors. You went through some rough times here recently. Both of our good friend, Dennis Bostock, took his own life tragically. And, there's just no explanation for somebody doing something horrific like that. You lost another friend who was the inspiration for your new single, Outside Looking In. And your band is called Healing the Fray. Jeff, tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that.
Healing the Fray, well, the world is a very complex thing, and there's a lot of complex issues out there right now, and a lot of people are dealing with a lot of negativity, right? So one thing that we all can agree on is that music tends to unite everybody. There could be like Brown Eyed Girl playing on it and playing on the radio, and everybody will start singing that. Everybody will chime in. So with music, you can heal. So that's why we're calling it Healing the Fray. That's the whole reason why we named the band Healing the Fray.
Well, guys, it's great to see you. They're trying to load the truck. I've got to get rolling. We are recording here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, home of Jeff Sandoval and Mike Araiza, Healing the Fray. Check out their new single, Outside Looking In, and be sure to download the album, Healing the Fray. You got some killer merch. Guys, it's great to see you.
Love you, bro.
Love you, man. Thank you.
It's time to let it go. What could have been, what I should have done. This uncertainty, it has no end. I should have known time won't heal this thing. Feel my soul to find the joy of pain. But now the time has come, still no meaning, has no end. I see a light, but the night is long. Do I have the strength? Should I carry on? I have to seek out the outcome, no matter what they say. I see a path right in front of me, to the light of day. Give me strength.